Welcome back to another reading of Because of Mr. Terupt. Today I've chosen to have our camel join us for the reading. And I realized I've never shown the back of the quilt that my mom made for me. As I was putting this away to get ready for the read aloud we're about to do now, I thought this is kind of a pretty backing to a blanket, so I wanted to use this for this read aloud. Diego is unmoving in his seat. He loves his position and he's ready to move forward. And I'm drinking a nice warm lemon water inside of my Glen Ellen, Illinois mug, 1834. As I drink out of this mug, I start to have a lot of thoughts about how great of a community this is. I've been, especially lately, hearing a lot of stories about how people in Glen Ellen step up and help out others in need. And especially with things going on right now, you're really seeing, or I'm at least really seeing, the best side of people. Just volunteering to help out anywhere they can, anybody they can. It touches my heart. I love to hear wonderful stories about people helping each other out. If everybody did that, this would be such a great place. Okay, let's get to our story. We left off with Danielle's chapter. I know what it's like to have people gang up on you. Being big, I learned real quick. It stinks. I never thought I'd do it to someone else, but I did, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. Peter must have felt that no one in the whole wide world liked him. I see it now, but I didn't see it when it was happening, when it mattered the most. Not until James and Luke made me open my eyes. Selfishness caused me to be blind. I only thought about how bad I felt. I'm not saying I would have done anything different had I seen it earlier. I'm just glad it changed, for all of us. Luke told us that Mr. Terupt's going to have brain surgery. All the girls started to cry when he told us that. And the boys didn't make fun of us for it, not like every other time. And Luke kept talking. He told us about Mr. Terupt's wrestling concussions, and it's not being all Peter's fault. It was an accident, a real honest accident with lots of us to blame. Luke said Peter threw the snowball because of him, but he wasn't the only one who got Peter mad that day. Others of us started confessing. I prayed for God to cleanse us all. I hugged everybody at James's party. I was sorry for so much, but real sorry for Peter. Even though we all told him it wasn't his fault, I think he still felt like it was. I felt bad for Anna too. I hope she wasn't mad at me after what I told her. I wanted us to still be friends. I also wondered what Charlie's intentions were toward her mother. So I asked. I found Charlie out in the barn early one morning before school. He was sitting next to one of the cows and milking her. "Morning, sunshine," he said. "What brings you out here?" "I wanted to know why you went to see Terry Adams," I said. "To share a good cup of coffee with a fine woman," he said, "and to ask for her forgiveness. To forgive me for the way I treated her when we were in school." Charlie slipped the machine that he used to milk the cow, and he was real nice to the cow, patting the cow, telling her she was a good girl. And then he walked over to the next one, squatting down and starting the process all over again. So I asked, "Do you think Anna and her mom are bad influences on me?" "Nope. But I don't think you should try to change Grandma's or Mom's opinion in that score." "Are you going to see Terry again?" "I'd like to," Charlie said. He stood and moved to the next cow. Charlie had 4 machines, so he could milk 4 cows at the same time. He did the milking every morning and every night. "Then Are you going to try and change Mom's and Grandma's opinion?" "Nope. I see no reason to start a family war, and you shouldn't either," he said. "That's easy for you to say, because you can just drive yourself over there whenever you want." "What's up, buddy? What's up? Okay, you want a break?" "Okay." "Sooner or later, my teacher won't be in the hospital any longer. He'll either be back or, worse, in the ground. And I won't have any reason to go over to Anna's house. But I want to be friends with her and her mother because I like them." Charlie stopped what he was doing and looked at me. "Let's cross that bridge when we come to it," he said. "And let's continue to pray for that teacher of yours. Do you think he'll make it through the surgery?" "I don't know," Charlie said. "I wish I could tell you, but I only know animals." He walked over to me and wrapped his arms around me, giving me a little squeeze. "It's time for you to catch the bus. Go on. Have a good day at school, sunshine." He made me smile a little. I hoped I didn't smell too much like the barn when I got to school. In case you're wondering, Diego's laying right next to the camera just out of sight, so he can still hear the story. Jeffrey's chapter. If anyone knows silence, it's me. The silence in our classroom wasn't the worst. There was always someone you could turn and whisper to. It contained tons of sadness and guilt, but it wasn't absolute. Even Peter's silence was over. He was lucky. My silence at home pressed on, with nobody for me to turn to and nobody in sight to rescue me. That silence was absolute. The only company in my house was more sadness and guilt. But somewhere along the way this year, Terupt taught me to see things different, to think about things different, to think about more than just me. It was always my silence and my fault. But now I started to think about my mom's silence and dad's silence. Mom's fault and dad's fault. They were hurting too. Why did I have to wait for them to talk to me? I didn't. A few days after James's party, I crept into my mom's bedroom where she lay on the bed in her pajamas. I climbed in next to her and I put my arm around her. And then I told her, "It's not your fault. I love you." She didn't do anything, but I lay there and fell asleep, holding my mom. When I woke up, I felt good. I hoped my words had helped her. I thought of Terupt as I walked out of her bedroom. He had helped me reach out, and I missed him. I wished I had a chance to tell him how I felt, too. I wanted him back so bad. I found Dad sitting in a chair in the family room. Better called the be alone room, not the family room in our house. He was home, so I must have slept for a while. I wondered if he had seen me with Mom. Immediately, I knew it was going to be much harder for me to say those words to him. We never talked to each other like that, not even before Michael died. "Hi, Dad." I sat on the sofa near his chair. "I saw you in there with Mother," he said. "She needs you, Jeffrey. You might be the only one who can help her." "Dad?" "It's not your fault," I blurted out. He didn't say anything. I knew my words surprised him, that they hit him hard. I got up, and I walked over and I hugged him. And I told him I loved him. I let go after a few seconds and headed out of the room. "It's not your fault either," Dad said before I was gone. I heard his voice breaking up as he said it. I felt that good feeling again, and I couldn't help but think of Mr. Terupt. I thought about what my dad said about Mom needing me. I didn't know what else to do, so every day after school, I started going home and resting next to her in bed. It just felt like the right thing to do. I tried. Terupt taught me that too. Wow. It's great. I love reading these stories about kids and how amazing they can be, how people can be. Just open up your heart and see, or at least try and look at someone else's perspective. Just one simple act can make the world of difference to somebody. Okay. I know that was a pretty quick read aloud, but we've ended our month and we're going to begin on May. So next time we join up, we're going to start with Jessica's chapter, and it'll be a whole new month. As always, I hope you're enjoying the story, and I hope you're talking about it with others, because this is a really good story to share. I'll see you next time.